Shecky Greene, and also joining him, two lovely ladies, the original Cow Cow Boogie Girl recording star Miss Ella Mae Morse, and an actress who sings, the very talented Miss Annie Gaybis. And now, here he is, the man of the half hour, Skip E. Lowe.
Hi, Skip.
Shecky, now tell me something.
What?
You just got back from Chicago.
Just got back from Chicago.
What were you doing?
Well, first I went to a wedding. That's number one. And second of all, I went to see the Chicago Theater. It's just been renovated.
How is that theater? That old, beautiful
theater?
theater.
Can I tell you something? It's a crime that they've turned down theaters like that around the country. But they were going to tear it down, and the people in Chicago just got up in arms because it's a landmark.
Right.
But they renovated it, and I've never seen a job of a building, renovating a building like this. It's absolutely magnificent.
You are from Chicago?
Yes.
Originally?
Yes.
Shecky
But
Greene.
not from the Chicago Theater.
No,
farther
but you did the Chez Paris for many years.
Yeah, I did the Chez Paris. I did. Well, I started in the little clubs around Chicago.
Tell me, Sterling and Green, what was that all about? I want to know.
Sterling was actually Joe Sterling, who was my partner, was not was somebody else's partner. It was Sammy Shore, who's a comedian.
Right, who's a comic.
You know, yes. And
Mitzi Shore's husband, who
Right.
made the Comedy Store.
And who I'm the one who got the Comedy Store for her, and I've never been in it.
You're kidding.
No.
Why Shecky Greene has never been in the Comedy Store?
I don't know. I just have never been to the Comedy Store. You know, it's an amazing thing. I like all of these young comedians and stuff like that. I just, when I'm out of the business and away from the business
Right.
a lot, I really don't like to go see these things. Strange.
I want to know right from the beginning. What happened at the Sterling and Green?
Anyway, with Sammy, I got out of the business. And then Sammy teamed up with this Joe Sterling, and Joe Sterling called me about, I guess, 3 or 4 weeks after he and Sammy were together, and he says he would like to go with me instead of Sammy. And I said, no, that's not fair to Sammy, and boom, boom, boom. And then finally, Sammy called me and says, it's all right with him. So then I got back in the show business, and I went on.
You did impressions or anything like that? What were you doing? You were like a slapstick.
Yeah.
Is that what you call Shecky Greene at those days? Slapstick?
Zany.
Zany. Okay. That's
yes. I would do falls to get laughs. Instead of the spoken word, I'd do a fall.
Yeah,
I'd do anything. Throw water all over me. And dialects. I think dialects are my forte.
When did Shecky Greene solo? What club?
Well,
when really Shecky Greene became Shecky Greene, like everybody knows today.
I don't know. How do they know me today? I'm trying to find it.
What they know you? You're one of America's great comedians,
That's
Shecky
very
Greene.
nice.
You're a nightclub comic. You know, you are truly an American nightclub cabaret comic. That's what I call a cabaret.
No wonder I'm out of the business. There's no more nightclubs.
No, but you were in Vegas. No, there's a lot of clubs, Shecky.
No, you know what's amazing? When I really went on my own, is that Joe was married and I wasn't married.
Right.
And we were working the Club Alabama, which is one of the oldest nightclubs in the country.
Right, of course.
And there was a little floor that we worked on, and then we had hostesses working in the club, and the guys used to come in. Women never came in the club. Guys would come in, go right while we were working. They would go right across the stage and then go upstairs and everything else and drink with the girls and stuff. And this we were getting about $175 a week, and I gave Joe $125 because he was married, and I kept $50 a week.
Oh, Shecky.
So finally,
That's love of your business. I mean, really.
Well, I really didn't love the business ever at any time, which sounds shocking probably to Ella Mae because we were talking earlier, and I know the feeling she's got for the business.
Yeah.
But I never expected to stay in the business. I got in the business by accident. I never expected to stay in the business. So when Joe and I were in this club, and we were there quite a long time, I finally said, I want to get out of this. I want to go back to college, because I had 1 year of college already, and I said, I want to go back to college, because I want to be a physical education teacher. And finally, Joe says, well, let's stay here just a little bit longer. And I says, no, I'm quitting. And I actually quit the business, and I went into something else.
New Orleans. You went to New Orleans, Shecky.
I went to New Orleans.
I remember you were such a big hit in New Orleans right after that, I think.
Yeah, but I went in. What's funny, I was in college at the time, and I went. The guy called me, an agent that we both know from Chicago, Paul Maher.
Paul Maher.
And
Patch dye.
with the one eye.
One eye.
The
Right.
Yeah, and that was his good eye. And he called me. He says to me, "Could you do me a favor?" They all talk so fast in those days. They signed you before you even knew to say no.
Yeah.
And finally, he said to me, "Will you go down to New Orleans?" I have no going to go to New Orleans. He said, "You go down just 2 weeks." I promised you that's all I was going to do, just 2 weeks. So I went down to New Orleans. 2 weeks went into 4 weeks. 4 weeks went into 6 weeks. And it ended up, and Al Hurt was my orchestra leader down there at
Al
that time.
Hurt.
And I don't know whatever happened to his career.
Yeah.
And the strange thing about it, I ended up owning 15% of the club. And I
Owning?
stayed, I stayed down in New Orleans quite a while. And then I had an after-hour club after that in New Orleans. But when we burned down in New Orleans, I says, well, after all of these years, I said, I'm going back to school again. You know, I said, I just don't want this business. And then something else happened. I got a call from Martha Raid at the 5 o'clock club
In Miami.
Miami Beach to
Right.
come down there. And I went down there and I stayed there quite a while.
That lady next to you, right next to you, Ella Mae Morse. My God, the original boogie girl.
Do you know, I never thought I'd live long enough to be an original anything. That's kind of an honor.
I understand you're here in town creating a big thing. Opening last night. Did you?
Oh, it
at
was
the
so exciting.
Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel.
In the Cinegrill. And
In the Cinegrill?
It was magnificent. Oh, it was so lovely.
Tell me about Ella Mae.
Oh,
did
we
you,
had
did you
so
ever work
much
with Ella,
fun.
first of all? Did you ever work with her?
No, I never did, but I would have loved to. And maybe again we will.
I sat
Should.
ringside in
Listen.
Reno and watched him and fell under the table because he's such a funny
That
man.
was the Golden Hotel.
The Golden Hotel. And Peggy Lee was in the audience, and you were so... God, she
Isn't he wonderful?
Yeah, he
thinks.
said to her, he said, I don't know if you remember me, Peg. You know, she was so embarrassed and like, wow, he was talking to her. You know. And she, you know, she is a beautiful woman.
Right.
But then she was even more beautiful because she was younger, right?
And thinner.
She said, and looking like
Yeah,
a doll.
right.
And he said, I asked you if you would come and see my show, and you said sure. He says, I called my mother and told her you said sure to me. God.
Ella Mae, 14, 13, left home, business. I mean, 13, honey. Shecky,
My
that is
mother
young.
was with me, Skippy.
She was what?
Oh, she was right
Oh,
there
she
with
was.
me. My mom, yes, she was.
Tommy Dorsey.
Jimmy Dorsey.
Jimmy Dorsey.
Let her tell that story. To me,
What?
that's fabulous.
Go
that
ahead.
story.
Which one?
I auditioned with the Jimmy Dorsey Band
Right.
in Dallas, Texas, and I was 12, and I told him I was 19, and my mother backed me up. We needed the job, let's face it. And, you know, he bought that, and I went to New York with him. I was absolutely terrified. Once I got the job, I just froze. I had laryngitis constantly. Bob Eberly saved my life, constantly saved my life, because I was really scared. And Bob was such a funny man. Bless his heart, he was so sweet and very supportive. And we were at the New Yorker Hotel when a letter came to Mr. Dorsey from the Texas State School Board. And it read, he handed it to me, he said, read that. And he said, you will be responsible for the health, welfare, and education of this 12-year-old child. And, oh, it really turned him off. He fired me so fast, I didn't know what had happened. Gave me 2 weeks' salary and a drawing room back to Dallas.
And then Texas, right?
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
see, the beautiful part about that is that Freddie Slack was the piano player.
And he came back a couple years later, and
about
discovered you?
3 years later.
and he had a
said to
song
me,
called...
Cal Cal Boogie, that was the song.
No, but he said to her, which
What
is
did
amazing. What he said.
Yeah,
to the thing that
Freddie
Freddie
said
Slack
to me,
when he
yeah.
was playing the piano.
Yeah, he said, I don't care how old you are or how young you are. He says, I like the way you sing. And if I ever have a band and you hear about it, you get in touch with me and you've got a job. And that's exactly what happened 3 years later.
3 years later.
Yeah.
And you're the lady who really brought Capitol Records to its peak.
Well, we started together, actually.
Capitol, what
Yeah.
year was that? In 40?
That was 42. And
How-
we started together. Johnny Mercer and Glenn Wallix and Buddy DeSilva.
Oh,
Started with
Cow
those
Cow
three
Boogie.
guys.
How many records? I mean, it sold a
It
lot.
sold about 12 million records.
I
And
love-
then, of course, that was a miracle. Now they can do that in a week. It's no big thing.
Mr. 5x5.
That
Tell
was
me,
my second one.
That was your second?
Yes, yes.
That's a great
That
song.
was also Don Ray and Gene DePaul.
Uh-huh.
And Johnny Mercer loved the song so much, and he sang with me on it. He
I
was-
like, you know what I like? Shoo Shoo Baby.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
that?
a
Shoo Shoo
good
Baby.
song. Yeah, Phil Moore wrote that. He was always saying
Phil Moore,
that.
the
The piano player.
Yes.
Oscar Morris,
He
guitar
teaches
player.
here.
his brother. Oh, yes, he's a genius. Absolute genius.
Uh-huh.
But he was always saying that. If you got uptight or anything, he'd say, oh, shoo-shoo, baby, shoo-shoo. And I said, you really ought to write that. He said, if I do, will you sing it?
Hell, I must tell you, when I first heard your record, I thought you were,
Did
like
you?
Sammy Davis, you
Yeah,
know?
that's what it
that
says.
voice
and
of
he
yours.
said that to me.
Did he really?
Yeah, when I met him, he
I
said,
thought-
Ella, honey, I thought you were one of us. And what a nice thing to say.
But
Yeah.
you have that. You
Yeah.
consider yourself a blues singer or what?
I would say rhythm and blues.
Rhythm and blues.
You know, and I don't know why. I just love to sing, and I would say I'm a singer. I don't know what kind of a singer. I recorded with Tennessee Ernie Ford, and we
You
did
met
a
Elvis
cute
Presley
thing.
too.
And Elvis
You and
Presley.
Elvis are very close.
Yes, we did get to be very close. What a sweet young man he was.
You know, it's funny you said that, because Elvis did his first nightclub with me.
With you. Yes. His first.
Oh, did he? How
Really?
nice.
1956, they brought him into the Frontier Hotel.
Right.
He had a 3-week engagement.
Yeah.
And it was Freddie, Martin's orchestra,
Oh, yeah.
Freddie Martin.
myself, and Elvis, which is not grammatically correct the way I
Shecky,
just said
how
it. but
was
it's
he to work with? I mean,
I have never loved anybody. This kid
Really?
was a very humble, magnificent boy.
He sure
they all
was.
loved him, yeah.
And he really was not prepared to work that kind of a nightclub, you know. And the thing is that the magazines and papers and everything else after that said that he was fired from the engagement, which he was not fired. He was only booked in for a 3-week engagement. We were booked in for 4 weeks. So at the end of his 3-week engagement, he left, naturally.
Yes,
But
yes.
from that, they picked it up later on, the way the media gets everything out of context anyway. And they said he was fired from that job, and he was never fired from that job.
I see.
But there was something. Bing Crosby was in the audience, and I had been working with Bing in his golf tournaments and things. And I says to Bing, wait till you hear this kid, because I thought it was all. I mean, I couldn't. I don't know what was going to happen to Elvis
Yes.
Presley, because he came out with a satin jacket, and the curtain came down, and they were, not like we saw
Yes,
Elvis Presley
yes,
later
yes.
on. And
But he had
said-
sideburns. That's where
he had the long sideburns, and then
sideburns.
I said to Bing Crosby, I says, this guy, they brought this guy in, I don't know what, they had a 75-foot cutout of him outside of the hotel.
Uh-huh.
And Bing Crosby says, Shecky, he will be the biggest star in show business. And I said to Bing Crosby, you could tell me that?
Crosby said that?
Crosby said, you can tell me that? I said, what do you see that I don't see in this kid? Not, but although I was crazy about the kid, I didn't see the future that he was going to have, you know. Because Colonel Parker came to me and he says, Shecky, I want to tell you something. You want to travel with Elvis? He says, we'd like you to travel with Elvis. Give you $1,000 a week. Elvis is going out on all these concerts. And I said, well, I don't want to travel with Elvis. I mean, where was he going to go, you know? And finally, I was working in St. Louis at the Chase Hotel, and they came through. They were working in the auditorium. Colonel Parker called me up and he says, I want you to come down. And he says, you know that $1,000 a
That's
week?
the way he talked.
Exactly.
He says, you know that $1,000 a week I was going to give you? I got 8 acts for that $1,000, he says, and I want you to watch this. And then we all know what happened to Elvis Presley. I'm sure that a lot more people
Now, what
know
do you
Elvis
think
Presley
Bing
than
Crosby saw?
Isn't
What do
it?
you
It's the
think?
most
He
amazing
saw
They see
something
that
in me.
He did?
He did the same thing
Crosby.
when he had the craft
Yeah,
music
Music
hall.
Hall.
Some people
He,
have the
he
eye.
wanted me for that show, and I was so honored. Whoa! But you know, he was a very lovable man.
Was he?
Oh, Bing, yes, just like an old piece of cornbread. He was
Well, you
just so
felt it was
down
family
home.
as soon as you met him.
Yeah, that's right. Felt like I'd known him all my life.
But he saw it like she says, that some
He
people
saw
have that
things
gift.
in people that other people didn't
I
see.
see.
It was like a man that we had in Chicago that had Mr. Kelly's, Oscar Marienthal.
Right.
He had the ability to pick out people. I mean, when all other nightclubs were just booking who would get popular or anything, he would go looking for
Who
people.
were some of the good comics started there?
Everybody, just name them.
Was Mort Saul's actually?
Mort Saul started.
Yeah.
Well, Mort Saul came into Chicago, actually worked the Black Orchid. But he brought Mort Saul in later on.
But you never did that, did you, Mr. Kelly's?
Oh, Mr. Kelly's, I
Did
worked
you?
about 100 times.
Did you really?
Sure.
Shecky? When did the Chez Paris came? After? But you were with Chez Paris before.
No, Chez Paris came
After.
in...
Because you worked with Sophie Tucker. Didn't you work with
No,
Sophie?
the first one I worked with at the Chez Paris was Ann Southern,
Oh,
I love her.
yes, a lovely lady.
who kept on yelling to me, get off the stage. Because,
She did?
yeah, well, I had a bad habit. of not timing things too well.
Yeah.
After an hour and 20 minutes, I think I would yell to somebody, get off the
But you invent all the time on that stage, Shecky. What do you think, Ella? Doesn't
yeah,
Shecky Greene
definitely.
I would call him an inventor on that stage, actor, inventor,
Well, I
copy.
can't memorize anything. That's
I can't.
But you
either.
just-
it's got to come right off the
It's
top
right
of your
at the
head.
top of your
Yeah,
head.
that's right.
It's
People
wonderful.
can't write for me.
They don't have.
because,
What do you think of the
who's gonna
comedians
remember?
today, Shecky? The young comics today.
I'm crazy about them. I
Oh,
think.
me too.
I
You do?
think- I just think that we're just flooded with because it happens to be popular right now. Comedy.
Uh-huh.
I'm in love with George Carlin.
Are you really?
Well,
Oh, I think he.
And how about our young singers today? Do we have some good young
Lisa
girl singers
Whitney
out there?
Houston.
Uh-huh. You
I
like her?
think she's and Marlena Shaw.
Uh-huh.
And you know, and on, and who's the one I absolutely adore? I just I've got some. I just bought an album by her, and of course, the mine just went blank.
Getting back with
right,
albums. Oh,
Melissa
Ella Mae
Manchester.
Morse, this
That's
is
it.
your new things from Capitol?
No.
Or are they?
Look at that child. No, see that?
Don't you have some new things from Capitol, I thought?
No, really, they have re-released.
I love
this.
this.
Oh, it should look so good.
But this Capitol is first. May I get that, Ella?
Oh,
I want to see that. Now, that is not you. This is the
No,
30th
but Capitol-
anniversary of Capitol
I
Records.
know, and Capitol thought that was me.
They thought it was
the guy
you?
in the publicity
Oh, who
department.
is it?
You see how beats me, baby.
You mean that's on the
That's-
front
That
of
is
your...
not, now that's me.
That's you.
And Johnny Mercer.
And Johnny
Yeah.
Mercer. This is the
But
30th
that
anniversary.
girl on the front is definitely not.
But why would they how did
well,
they get that
because
picture?
whoever in the department there,
Is it?
they thought it was me.
They have a lot of geniuses working
Yeah.
in those places.
Now this is the newest thing that's out.
This is your
most recent-
newest.
Yeah.
Ah. What kind of songs are in these, Ella? What are some of them?
Oh,
Some of
let
your-
me see. There's Billy
Any
made
new
it-
ones?
Billy
Any-
made well, they were new.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they're all standards, all of them.
Ella Mae Morse, tell me
Yeah.
something. We have young singers out there, and I'm going to introduce you and Shecky to a lovely girl by the name of Annie Gaybis. I happened to work up in the Catskills years ago. Hi, Annie. How are you?
You know, listening to these two people, it's like Mount Rushmore speaks. I mean, at 13, I was having a bar mitzvah. You were out auditioning for big bands. I can't believe it. I'm so impressed.
Are you impressed with Ella
I'm
Mae?
speechless. And Shecky Greene, two living legends. I'm surprised you two are still alive. You've done so much.
So are we.
I'm all right. I'm fine.
Yes.
Annie, what's new and exciting in your life right
Wait,
now?
she had a bas mitzvah?
Yeah, she had a
Last year.
Last year.
Yes, yes.
Tell me about what
I just came back from the Catskills, and my goodness,
It's
I
still
hadn't
going
been...
up there big as ever.
It's still going up there big. One of the big centers became a spiritual center that's
Right.
no longer a Catskill community type
Right,
thing,
right.
but the Browns still looks like the Browns, the Grosingers still looks like the Grosingers, the Downingtown is no longer the Downingtown. Somebody else took owner, but Mickey Rooney's picture is all over the place, hosting everything. And it was great.
I understand you did something in town. She's a singer, an actress, singer, dancer, but she did something a little unusual. You did an opera.
Yes.
As a popular singer did an opera downtown.
Yes, my bio read different than everyone else's on
Tell
the
me about
program.
that. What happened, Annie? How did that...
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Well, they looked in the opera world for a Mona Bianca to play opposite Placido Domingo
Oui.
in Otello.
Right.
This is the first opera that LA has had that was sponsored by the Los Angeles area. So this was a very big thing. And since I didn't know anything about it, perhaps that was good. I just knew I was going down to audition for a show. I heard everybody singing on stage these things that I didn't know what they were singing about, so I came out and I sang I Am What I Am, very apropos, and I got the role. I think because Domingo's manager kept looking from here down, I don't think he heard my voice at all. It's a very sultry, sexy type of role. Not that much singing as it is dramatic movement and sensual and all that stuff. So we did it at the Shrine, then we did it at the Dorothy Chandler, then we went to Houston and we did it, and then I came
And the
back.
reviews were
They were very, very good.
Exciting.
excellent for a
That's
young
terrific.
girl who's
Yes.
been working
Good company,
clubs.
weren't
I was in
you
good
know.
company.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
great to be with the best.
Yes.
But if you didn't know any different, then
Yeah.
it was a wonderful experience. Perhaps if I had known more about what I was getting into, I wouldn't have even shown up for the
It was
audition.
good not to know sometimes.
Believe me.
Annie was in the motion picture Little Whorehouse, the little...
The best.
The best, I should say that, should I?
I mean, you might as well be in the best. If you're going to be with Domingo, you might as well be in the best little whorehouse, right?
That was fun to work with.
That was very fun.
I think I was in that place one time, too.
But not the movie.
No, I didn't see
Shecky,
in the film.
what's new and exciting in your life now? What are you going to be doing? I mean, something coming up for Shecky Greene?
Well, I just had a hip replacement, you know.
Yes,
Oh,
right.
wow.
I
And,
did. Yeah, I knew that, but
So I've really been off for quite a while, and now I'm going to go back, June 5th, I go back to Atlantic City.
Uh-huh.
And,
do you work Vegas again? Do you still work Vegas, Shecky?
yeah, I'm supposed to go in September with Sammy Davis, and I got to be very honest with you. As much as I would like to work with Sammy Davis,
Yeah.
I just, Vegas does not hold the same fascination it held for me many years ago.
Because it's changed.
It changes
It's
not to
changed.
work for. I mean, the whole world has changed.
Right, but the companies took over those
But
places.
to
I
me,
mean,
it's really like Chernobyl for nightclubs.
Uh-huh.
I really don't get the same feeling in Vegas that I used to
You're
get.
married now? Happy?
Yes.
You seem happy,
Yeah,
Shecky.
yes.
You moved.
Wait,
I
let me
understand.
smile and
Now,
say
why?
that.
I want to know why.
She may be watching. Yes, yes, yes.
Shecky, why did you move from Beverly Hills to Hancock Park? That's,
Well, I hadn't lived in Beverly Hills in many, 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 many years.
Uh-huh.
And
but that's a good move, though. I like that better. Hancock, are you enjoying it better
I
there?
love Hancock Park. I love
People don't realize Hancock Park is
I
a
love it
real...
because I just before I came here, I had the furnace man in. We got to put in 2 new furnaces. Yeah, I love Hancock Park. And last month I had to put in 4 windows. And let's see, the roof we had to put in.
Exciting life, isn't it?
It is.
Shaggy? Very exciting.
Ella, are you just traveling on the road with your show right now, or
No,
what's...
I live in the South Bay, if you know where that is. It's, down south,
Uh-huh.
and it's about maybe 45 minutes on the freeway.
Uh-huh.
And I'm staying at the Roosevelt while I'm working.
But I understand you're going to New York.
In June, I'm
You
going
haven't
to New
been
York.
in New York?
About
in-
5 years.
And how many?
About 5.
5
I was
years?
back there with
But you're
Nelson
opening in a
Riddle.
wonderful club called Michael's Pub.
Marty's Pub.
Pardon me?
Marty's Pub.
Marty's?
Yes.
I thought it was Michael's.
That's
I don't
better
think
than
it's Marty's.
Michael.
But is it
Is Michael's
Marty's?
still open? I don't
Marty's
think
Pub.
Michael's is opening.
It isn't?
Yes,
I think
it
it's
is.
Marty's.
It's Marty's Pub?
Oh, gosh, I hope I
Okay.
got that right. Anyway, I'm going to be there for 3 weeks with Nellie Lutcher. We'll
I've
come
had
and
her
say,
on the show with
isn't
Frida
she
Payne.
neat?
She
Yeah.
is wonderful.
Lovely lady.
Yeah, she
Yes.
worked at Roosevelt, too. She had a lot of fun.
I'm going, at the end of this month, I'm going up and do the Jazz Festival in Sacramento.
You seem
a lot
like
of
you're having
exciting
fun,
things.
Ellen.
I am, but
Are
then
you?
I always did.
She really does. You seem like
Forget
you're
about it. I'm
enjoying
going to
life.
travel with her. Forget about
Yeah?
my agent.
Yeah.
What do you think of these two people? They're just, they've been in the business a
We
long
love
time,
each
Annie.
other. That has lots to do with it, you know.
They look just, as a
It's
young...
friendship.
You know something, Skippy? I wish I could have been around to sing with the big bands.
You'll be around, honey.
No, I know they're coming back, but they're not coming back like they were back in the days when
Well,
you were the
honey,
big
nothing,
band singer.
Nothing's
Right.
ever
And I
the
wish
same.
I could have been in Vegas when it was a terrific place to play.
It is still
Now
a
there's a
terrific
cover
place.
charge
Don't
and
listen to this
lounges.
man to my left.
I've played
Don't
Vegas.
listen. You
Now when
take
they
your
put cover
imagination-
charges
Wait,
on
wait, wait,
lounges.
wait,
That
What
hurts
is
me.
that?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No.
You did.
No, I wish I could just to be back and see what it was like, a day back in the life of like our town, to go back and see what it would be like, because then I could appreciate even more.
Day in the life.
Shecky Greene.
Yes.
Movies, acting. I mean, comics are usually, don't you think, Ella? Comics, good comedians are usually great dramatic actors.
Milton Berle,
There
for
he is.
instance.
Well,
Oh, with this one,
I
he can
think
do anything.
Red
I should
Skelton.
like very much to be an actor.
You would,
I should,
Shecky?
yes, and I should like very much to marry Elizabeth Taylor. But there is always one thing that has been
Is
on my
that
mind.
is that your favorite lady?
No, no,
Elizabeth?
no, well, I
you love her?
I like
What
Elizabeth.
can I tell you?
I like Elizabeth Taylor, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite lady. My favorite lady is the one I'm
You're
living
married.
with.
Yes.
But
Acting, though, I meant a film, a real dramatic role for Shecky Greene. Why?
they,
Come on, Shecky.
there was a time they were putting comics in the dramatic roles. Now again, there's the,
Red buttons and all those, yes.
Yeah, the younger element today, again, when they send me a script or something, it's about a comedian, and
Yeah.
I want to stop playing a comedian.
They don't know. They don't know you could do that. Shecky Greene, television. Why not your own show? Why? Joan Rivers. I mean, why not Shecky Greene?
I remember Joan Rivers when she worked at Marineland when she.
Yeah, that sounds like a seal. I know it. But the
always
little
done
club.
that. I think it's kind of cute.
Why not, Shecky? Why
Throw
wouldn't
him
you?
in
Why not? Come on. Why not?
Why not? Listen, I'm available. I'm ready for anything.
He's going back to college.
I was just.
Will Schreiner is doing his.
Will Schreiner's show is magnificent.
Yeah, he's a
That
wonderful
means
guy.
that-
He's a
that's the
cute
third time
guy.
I've
He's a
used that
nice
word.
boy. He's a nice kid. Tell me something. Bob Hope, favorite comedian, Shecky Greene. He loves you.
I
He
happen to be very
adores you.
fond of Bob Hope too.
You do? But why not together? Why not? He doesn't
Well,
take
Bob
you
and
to
I,
work.
we do some shows like benefits together.
Uh-huh.
But and I had
Because
done,
he is your, he loves you.
he's
Number
been
one,
a big booster.
he loves
He
you.
has good
Yes.
taste.
Yes, he has.
And thank you, my darling.
Yes.
And Bob, I did one show with Bob when they had all comedians on, a lot of comedians. But I would like to remind Bob that I'm available anytime he does one of those specials.
Good. Well, tell him that.
I think the last one he had Jack Carter on.
Uh-huh.
And so let's
Looking
get in
back-
touch with him.
We will. Looking back over your life, Ella, do you have any regrets?
No.
Come on, Ella.
I really
There must be
don't.
some kind of a regret.
I think I would have been more relaxed looking back over the years. I took everything very seriously. We do that when we're kids, don't we?
Serious,
You
yeah.
know,
We do.
There was a war going on when
Yeah.
I was a little girl. World War II.
You and the Andrews
And,
sisters.
you know, and
yeah.
my dad went into the service, and
Yes.
I knew he was going to go over there and get killed. And he didn't even get a hangnail. You know, he came back all in one piece. And
But you got married at 13, Ella. Come on, let's.
13?
I mean, she
You
was
got
13.
married at 13?
She was married at 13 years
had
old.
to.
First
My
husband.
mother
You've
was
been
gonna
married.
take- my
Come
mother
on,
was going to take me back to Texas, and I did not want to go.
Southern
really
girls get
didn't want
married
to go.
early.
Well, I don't know
I
about
was
that.
still slapping boys away at 13.
Well, I was doing that, you know.
So how many?
It's really funny because we were like brother and sister.
What was your first? What was your first husband at
darling,
13? How? What?
He was, he is, I talk like he's dead or something. He's the nicest man. He is so nice. He was 21, so he was a kid too. And I lied to him. He didn't know, he never did know how old I really was. Because each year I would confess again, you know, I'm not really 20, I'm only 17.
Children, grandchildren.
So I'd keep lying. Oh, I have
Loads of
10 grandchildren.
10
And
grandchildren.
one great-grandchild. Ah, she is magnificent. Her name is Kelly. Flaming red hair. Oh, she's gorgeous.
So you don't have regrets then? How about you,
Oh,
Shecky
no.
Greene?
The regret I have is I didn't have her positive attitude. This attitude and
It's
her
great.
love of everything. Yeah, I always had a negative because I came from that type of Jewish family where everything was like, you know, how's the soup? The soup's all right.
Yeah.
You know, I'll have another bowl. It's all right. It's delicious. You know, but so it's where you grow up in your environment. But she has this wonderful, magnificent attitude.
Yeah,
and
she
I'm
does.
sitting here and I'd
Yeah.
like to be with her
Isn't she
more
wonderful?
often on shows. Yeah.
We're going to go see her.
Now
That would
I
be
wish
fun.
it was the Skippy show, our show, so we can really. 'cause
You know, Shecky, you should have your own show, and I love you, baby. But Annie Gaybis,
Yes.
tell me, where are you going to go from here now? Where will you be doing?
I think I'm going to go home.
No, come on. But where?
Oh,
Well,
I see what you're saying.
now you
We
know.
just like to slap an older
Really?
man.
Come on, Annie.
I'm waiting to hear. I'm going to go to Russia and sing for a week. I'm waiting for my visas to come in, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Exciting.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
they'll
think that'll
love
be.
you.
Well,
You're such a beautiful girl.
Thank you, but I'm
She's a
really
good dancer,
looking
too.
forward to it. I'm going to put type of a Linda Ronstadt type of oldies because they haven't heard a lot of the American tunes together, and we'll be doing several one-nighters over there. I think it'll be
Great.
terrific.
Oh, they'll love you.
Annie,
I'm
how's
really looking forward to
sitcoms?
going.
What's wrong with sitcoms for you?
There's
Have you-
nothing wrong. There's
have you
nothing
tried?
wrong.
Have you done? Is it hard for a young girl? I mean,
It's very hard.
tell me,
Sometimes
wait. Casting couch. Has there been a